to you, now I'm faded. Holding you, kissing you, calling you baby. Cold by the shake, I'm trying to drink you. Feel like I'm drunk, might need a chaser. She got me nervous, I'm trying to be player. Let's leave the ball, go home and lay up. Rubbing your body, massaging your layers. Sip and get tipsy, we play a little later. I don't use a drink, but loving your flavor. Me and you make a good combination. When I hit it, look like you took a sip of the whisk. How you making them faces? Use that weight, but I'm getting patient.
Recently crashed out on Joe Budden and even implied that he may have information that Joe Budden is a down-low gay man. We'll get back to the video shortly, but I wanted to let you guys know this video is being sponsored by Kalshi. Kalshi is an app where you can make money predicting current events. I put money on what the weather is gonna be every day on Kalshi. I check the weather app when I wake up. And really all I do is I look at what the highest temperature is gonna be for the day. Then I go on Kalshi and place a prediction on what I think the highest temperature is gonna be for the day. I'll say probably 7 out of 10 times my weather prediction hits. Sometimes it doesn't hit. But if you wanna get paid by predicting weather on a daily basis, you can do so on Kalshi by clicking the link in my description and downloading the app and using code FLACO to get $10 on your first deposit. Jason Lee is also the vice mayor of Stockton, and this time last year, he was being accused of taking like $50,000 in city funds and giving it to Wildin' Out without approval. And he was being accused of essentially scamming the city of Stockton. Jason Lee maintained his innocence. However, when the news broke, Joe Budden and other podcasters ran to their platforms to essentially label Jason Lee guilty before he really had his day in court. And Jason Lee never forgot.
Stockton Vice Mayor Jason Lee is asking the California Attorney General to investigate the city's latest budget and hiring controversies. Yesterday, the city manager's office said it's looking into why $50,000 from the city budget was used to prevent the live event Wildin' Out from getting canceled. Lee was part of that event and said he's friends with Nick Cannon, who hosts it. Lee has said the money came from the city's risk mitigation fund.
There was no policy in place that said the staff have to go to the city manager and get authorization. If you look at the press release that came out yesterday, the words are very interesting. I believe words have power. It says the request should have gone to the city manager. It doesn't say the policy requires it to go to the city manager.
We checked the city budget and found the fund where this money came from was created to help make sure that Stockton venues can secure big acts. The city manager's office is now investigating whether any city policies were bypassed.
I did a coverage of this story when it first happened. My perspective was they're saying Jason Lee don't control the bank accounts. Jason Lee had to go through proper procedure with somebody else to clear the funds. He went through that procedure, but because they didn't alert somebody else at the office, that was where the issue is. Well, clearly it's not scamming. Well, Jason Lee and others asked the Attorney General to step in and investigate. And if they found Jason Lee did anything wrong, then they should prosecute him. Well, Joe Budden went on his platform before waiting for the investigation to be over and essentially condemned Jason Lee and labeled him as guilty and labeled him as a scammer and a fraudster. And Jason Lee was really upset about this and pissed, but he had to kind of not say anything because the investigation was still going on. So for months, he sat back seething at this comment that Joe Budden said about him.
Jason Lee. Now, let me tell you something, Jason Lee. This is why I don't f with you. But we squashed our shit, but this is why I don't f with you. I've been on Hollywood Unlocked ever since the story is broken. I ain't seen a peep. I'm just waiting for you to post your shit.
You want him to unlock his own shit?
Yeah. Unlock that shit. You can't take the money from the risk and litigation fund to Wildin' Out so they could do a May event in the town. And then he went to City Hall and doubled down. Jason Lee. Man, what do you think about this? As someone who used to work with him and has a close understanding, like inside source, like a source for this. Like as someone that has inside knowledge of his inner workings and the business infrastructure over there at Hollywood. How do you feel about this? Man? As someone that's worked closely with Jason Lee for 10 years.
Well, 4.
Which is 10. How do you feel about this? Mel always looked like the lights just got cut on when somebody asked that question. Mel, are you awake, girl?
I am. I don't even know how to respond because I'm just...
You just came from that black journalist. From that black journalist of Canada and Cleveland conference with Rebecca.
Maria Sharapova.
What the fuck is going on in here?
I just heard it for the first time, so I'm like processing what they just said, and I'm just like, I don't know how to respond.
He's
to like,
not gonna get at you if you comment. That's what you concerned. We will fry him up.
I'm not concerned about that. I don't know. I'm just processing what I was just told.
He took $50,000 and paid Wildin' Out so they could continue, won't cancel the show in Stockton
From the risk and litigation fund.
That's it. What do you feel about that?
Risk and litigation sound like the last place you should take this. Need this. It's risky.
Joe and Jason Lee had their prior issues. They already didn't get along. So I think Joe took the opportunity to kind of, spit on Jason Lee's grave, right, for lack of a better word, when this was going on, without any real clear-cut verification or clear-cut proof that Jason Lee did anything wrong, which to me, even if you don't like him, man, you don't do this, man, right? Because you understand how they treat us. You understand what we have to go through, especially in a position like the vice mayor of Stockton. You understand that comes with a lot of politics. And us not being in Stockton or in that building is almost impossible for us to truly understand the dynamics that Jason Lee was dealing with. So I think Joe coming out and just outright speaking as if he's 100% guilty, to me, was irresponsible. Well, the investigation wrapped up and Jason Lee has been 100% cleared. They found no wrongdoing. So now Jason Lee is responding back to everybody who essentially called him guilty before he had his day in court.
And then obviously now it's been cleared up. So I posted that and I had some of my friends share it across their platforms. We put it on Hollywood Unlocked and I put it everywhere because I want to make sure that in case he was busy masturbating his dog, that he could take a break to hear the message. We all know that Joe moves to the beat of his own drum unless he's beating a woman down the stairs, but that's only when they're pregnant. We've looked at the news and we've seen him over the years take on people. He's a big old punk, and the only reason why he comes for me is because I'm gay, and that's what these queens do. Wait, hold on, let me give you one more thing. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's for you, Joseph. And you know what? Here's the deal. I don't know what you use your mouth for, although if you ask people in Jersey, there's a lot of rumors.
I don't know. I don't like this, bruh. Now, Joe did wrong. Joe was dead ass wrong. But Jason Lee weaponizing his sexuality, I don't like that, bro. Because in hip-hop, we came a long way to where people openly accept members from that community. People openly accept members from the LGBTQIA community. And they are fully accepted. But you don't become fully accepted and then begin to weaponize your sexuality against any and everyone that you don't like. That's not cool, right? Like, if we are engaging, let us engage on a neutral playing field. But you saying, oh, I don't know what you do with your mouth. I heard some rumors from Jersey, implying that you heard that Joe Budden is down low or that Joe Budden do things with his mouth with other men. That's not cool, right? It's just not. Because if we're asking for hip hop to be more accepting and more open, then you can then weaponize it against us once we become more open. It's not cool. Because what's the alternative here? Man, listen, bro. Man, bro, I can't really work. I can't really do business. I can't really come around people from that community because when I do, they're going to weaponize it against me and they're going to put allegations on me. Now, if people in hip-hop start moving like that, now they're going to call us closed-minded and bigots. If y'all want us to be open-minded, then, it's not hard not to weaponize your sexuality. It's not hard to just go at the person like as is. Hey, bruh, Joe Budden give bad takes. Hey, bruh, Joe Budden did that thing with his dog one time. Hey, bruh, Joe Budden and his women accused him of... You had a lot of things to go to, but the fact that you defaulted to the sexual allegations is not cool. I don't like it.
Keep my name out of it, because my name has been in your mouth. I had to catch myself because I am still the vice mayor. But honestly, that BB and vice mayor is not going to stop me from telling you what I think. You only fight with women and you only beat on women because that's what typically, I'm going to say,
allegedly,
straight men who are struggling with their sexuality do. I know there's been lots of rumors about you being an undercover punk. And you know what? Now your skirt's starting to show. You know what I mean? You only fight with women and you only fight with gays. But you met your match because all you're going to do is go on your show with all your little fat co-hosts. And this is not for Mark because Mark is fit. By the way, Mark, I love you on the show and I love Mona on the show. And I love some of the other people who are who are rational. There's one person whose head's so far up your ass, his teeth are on your teeth. And I don't know his name because he's a nobody, but I think he said something to Melissa like, oh, he ain't gonna come for you because I'm gonna protect you. What you gonna do, you fat ass slob? You ain't nothing but a fill-in. You are an extra at best, and when Joe gets done with you, you're gonna be gone. He didn't pay Rory and Mal. That's why they had to leave and go get their own gig. You're a loser too. And you know what? When losers sit with other losers, you deserve everything you get. And I'm gonna tell you right now, any of you on that Joe Budden podcast, any of your teeth slip, and I get it, baby. I'm gonna go ahead and get into it because you know what? Guilty by association. You sit with a loser, you lose. And it's time to cut your losses because I'm gonna cut mine. So Joe, get your fat soup coolers, get back to work, okay? And get out there as part of the Rainbow Push Coalition and push this story and make sure everybody knows the update that I didn't have nothing wrong to do with it.
I do agree with Jason in that regard. If Joe Budden was very instrumental in pushing the negative story, was pushing the narrative that Jason Lee was the scammer, that Jason Lee violated and stole money and scammed his community because he dealt with Wild 'N Out. If Joe was instrumental in spreading that rumor, I think Joe, not only should he do it, but Joe has an obligation to do it, especially in our community. Because say what you want about Jason Lee, his sexuality, whatnot. Yo, Jason Lee is somebody who has represented hip hop and represented for our community for a while now. Jason Lee is a vice mayor, and he came from being a podcaster and a blogger. Joe has a responsibility, bro, to come back and say, hey, I was wrong. That man was innocent. He's innocent, and be as loud with it as he was when he was accusing Jason Lee of doing what he accused Jason Lee of doing. Again, the Joe I know would probably come and admit to it. Because I don't feel like Joe, for the most part, hate Jason Lee, because they talked in the past and they kind of solved their issues particularly. But Joe hopping on this story immediately, in a shows he might still have some issues with Jason Lee. But yeah, bro, Joe got to come back around. Joe got to apologize. Joe got to clear this up, man, because it's not cool, man. Right? We're all this little community and we're all like in this little crowd, especially in our niche, man. And it's our job to take care of each other and hold each other responsible, man. It's not our job to tear each other down and go.
Appreciate you for clicking on the video. Before you go, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out.